Hi guys, this is Sam, and I'm 17 years old, and I want to share my opinion about homosexual or same sex marriage in India. Well, if you didn't already know, same sex marriage is illegal in India. In fact, homosexuality was decriminalized in 2018. That's not too long ago. But same sex marriage is still not legal. And they obviously have reasons for it. And I will be sharing some of the most known, like the most famous reasons. And I will be sharing my personal opinion on them. Now, just to make sure, this is my unscripted personal opinion, and I am not trying to harm anyone else's opinions. I am just sharing mine. So, one of the most famous or well known reasons to not legalize same sex marriage is that it stops the ability of a couple to procreate. Like, procreate means basically you cannot have children of your own. Now, India is already an overpopulated country. It has a vast population. So basically, you're trying to tell me that the population will go down if you legalize same sex marriage. Now, the homosexual population of India, it's big, but it's not like 50%, 25% of the population. The population is not going to just completely drop. And even if it does drop a little, it wouldn't exactly affect anything. It would only affect for the good, because India is a very overpopulated country, and that is a fact. People seem to ignore the fact that the same sex couples, most of them, not all, okay, not all, but a lot of them will be adopting children. And of course, there are a lot of orphans in India. There are orphans everywhere, and these orphans just get a little more chance. The chance of them getting adopted gets higher, and that's a good thing. But this particular reason to not legalize same sex marriage is the worst of them of all. Like, it does not make sense, especially in India. It is invalid. Okay, this reason is basically invalid. Let's just move on to the second reason. Well, there is a vast religious and cultural resistance on the same sex marriage. So the most prominent religious groups in India are Hindu, Muslim, Christian, Sikh. And India does have a strong religious influence on laws. Well, yes, because our country is filled with our culture, and that's a very good thing. But here, the most of the religious groups seem to, let me change the words. Many religious leaders argue that marriage should remain a sacred bond between a man and a woman. Now, I'm not trying to say that their religion is wrong or what they're saying is wrong. That's not what I'm trying to say. All I'm trying to say is, if other people who are not you want to do something which you do not approve of, then you are no one to stop them. That's why there's a saying, it's if it's your religion, you follow it. Who are you to tell someone what to do? Now, I know I'm not saying this either, that homosexual people cannot have a religion. I'm not saying that at all. No. I'm just saying that as someone, as an individual, if you think something someone else is doing that you think is wrong, you are no one to stop them. You are no one to interfere with what they want to do. Well, I believe that marriage is a sacred bond between two souls, and souls do not have genders. That is my opinion, of course. And some people will not change their opinion, but that does not mean that if you don't want it, other people also don't want it. People should learn to not interfere with others. Honestly, as Indians, I have seen that a lot happening compared to anywhere outside. Um, Judging is something, it's a fact, okay? It's, well, not exactly a fact, it's just my personal observation that Indian people judge each other. They judge, and it's okay. It's, you can't change that if you've grown up with that. Okay, we're not talking about that anyways, but we should like always make sure to remember that just because you don't approve of it, and as long as the thing that the other person isn't doing is harming you, you are no one to tell them what to do. But just as long as the other person is not harming you, and I don't think homosexual people having a family, making a family, creating unbreakable bonds is affecting you to do anything. Like, it's not harming you, it's not affecting you in any way. So I don't understand why people have to tell others what to do and what not to do. Well, now let's move on to another reason then, and that is social stigma and family pressure. Now, it's a fact. There are a lot of homophobic people here. There are a lot of people who don't even know what homosexuality means. And, well, I can't blame that onto anyone. But there is a lot of family pressure. And, well, in Indian society, marriage is more about families than just individuals. So it is very natural for their children to fear the backlash from their parents, relatives, especially relatives, and people who live around them in general. And it just makes it harder for them legal recognition. And, well, that's no one's fault, honestly. There's just fear, and people have grown up and they can't simply just change their entire mindset. They are, of course, going to live on what they have grown up on, what they have seen in their entire life. But that still does not change the fact that there no one that they have the right to say no to someone else as long as they're not harming them. Now, the last point which I know is that people say that the same sex marriage or even homosexuality is a Western concept, and that it goes against Indian cultures and values. But honestly, that is not true. As long as, like, not as long, I meant as far as I know, there are some historical evidence, like, not about same sex marriages, I mean, as far as I know, but there are LGBTQ themes in Indian mythology. I'm gonna give you an example. We have in our Indian mythology a transgender warrior, Shikhandi. In the Mahabharata, Shikhandi was actually born as Shikhandini, the daughter of King Drupada, but later she transforms into a male warrior. So that is basically Indian mythology accepting transgender, or basically a part of LGBTQ plus. Now, I agree that there is no, like, as far as I know, no historical evidence about same sex marriages happening in the past, but that does not change the fact that these topics were not there. They existed. LGBTQ existed, and people need to accept that. And this is not the only example. There are a lot more which I'm not telling right now, but there are a lot more examples regarding LGBTQ plus in at least Hindu mythology, and you can look them up, you can look it up. It's there, it's all there. Now these are all the reasons that I know of and which I'm sharing with you guys. There might be more reasons, of course. The reasons are endless, and the arguments to oppose them are always going to be there. So honestly, the main reason why everyone opposes this is because they don't accept the fact that homosexuality exists. There are like no numbers, but we all know vast majority of Indians are homophobic. They are all homophobic. I mean, of course, no numbers, but if you look around, see, do you think your neighbor is gonna accept the fact that you as a boy can like men or as a girl can like women? Maybe not. I mean, the chances are definitely more for them not liking that, but does that really matter? Does it really matter what your neighbor thinks? No, it doesn't. But just because they hate it does not mean that you cannot do that. Is it harming them? No. Why? So that's basically the most appropriate thing I can say to make same-sex marriage legal is that, is it harming anyone? No, it isn't. So why is the country trying to stop two people from loving each other? And honestly, there's one reason, like there are of course a lot, but one main reason I would like to point out about how it is how it is affecting India in a negative way to not have same-sex marriage legalized, is that we're losing good people, like people who are intelligent and a good resource to the country. They are leaving India because they can't express their love, they can't marry their significant others here, so they're moving out, they're moving abroad. Now I know a lot of people are moving abroad, like our country's most intelligent people are IIT students. Most of them move out, they go abroad, but this is a like in small way where you can prevent that from happening. People are moving out from India, good people resource to a country, just because they cannot marry their loved ones here. And this is a issue, and legalizing same-sex marriage can obviously change that. This is obviously not the only reason same-sex marriage should be legalized. There are hundreds of millions of reasons why it should be legalized, but I'm just giving the reason as to why this is actually affecting the country negatively. So I mean, we can't really do anything about it right now. No major political party supports this or wants to make it legal, so there is not much voice coming out from the nation to make it legal. Of course, there are a lot of rallies, but when you think about, rural people don't even know about what homosexuality is. Like, a lot of them know, but most of them don't. So like, it's gonna take a lot of time for India and the parliament to recognize same-sex marriage and make it legal. We can't really do anything about it, but I think we should at least not discriminate against homosexual people, and always at least remember that, or when someone is being homophobic and telling someone not to be gay or lesbian or a part of LGBTQ, just tell them to mind their own business. That's it. So well, thank you for listening me yap. Well, I hope someone accepts the fact that gay marriage, same-sex marriage be legalized after hearing this. But well, all I can say is Thank you for listening.